Hey folks, MasakoX here. Before we continue the story of Cooler becoming canonically good, it would mean the world to me if you could take a look at my refreshed Patreon at patreon.com/MasakoX, where there are two simple tiers. It would be great if you could take a look at the pinned comment below or a link up here. Anyway, let's get on to the Cooler story. As much as he enjoyed the training sessions, there were times when Cooler had to check on his domain. He was the Emperor after all, and surely enough, it was his duty to make sure everything was running smoothly. Salza had mixed opinions on this one, much like Gas. On one hand, their leader was in an unusually good mood, which quite pleased them, as it seemed that getting stronger and not falling back after the Saiyans was somewhat fulfilling. On the other hand, though, it was taking him away for long periods of time, and something worrying began to happen. But they had to break the news to Cooler first. Some officers were missing. When did it start? The Emperor asked calmly, when he was called to the emergency meeting during one of the breaks from training. From what we can tell, about 3 to 4 months ago. Kikuno checked the data that was available to him to make sure. It started with Sorbet and a couple of others, Berry Blue started. But we had more and more reports of certain units going dark altogether. Sorbet, Cooler scoffed. If he is starting a mass desertion or a rebellion, then he is going to have to deal with the consequences of double-crossing us. The Emperor crossed his arms, looking at his closest advisors. I knew that I should have demoted him a long time ago. That way, we would not be in the position where we are today. Salza seemed troubled. Apparently, Monsieur Cooler, some of our troops have heard him expressing opinions of you going... The Brentian paused, trying to compose himself. Soft. Ha! Nonsense! Cooler's eyes narrowed. But again, Sorbet has always been my brother's little lapdog. We need to track him. He might get some of the young and easily impressionable into trouble, but some of them are just merely fools, not a danger. Probably deceived, even. So we need to strike at the head. There have been some other reports, my lord. Kikuno looked nervously at him. Yes, Cooler tilted his head. You can say it out loud. I'm not going to slap your head. Immediately. So, apparently we have a few vessels missing as well, the scientist started. Understandable. They would need something to move around. Why is that bizarre? Well, it's just, Kikuno wanted to continue. It's just we have recently learned that one of the missing ships has a new regeneration pod installed. The one you use to regrow your lost body parts. Gas was kind enough to take the heat this time from the science advisor. Something that did not go unnoticed and met with a nod of gratitude from said scientist, but was then followed with silence. Why would they need... Oh, Cooler had one of the most annoying feelings in his life before him at that moment, as he looked around the room. They have to be found. Send trusted soldiers. Make wanted to posters. Notify the Galactic Patrol even if you have to. They have to be found. Now! Out of a sudden burst of energy, the Emperor was much more serious and much more irritated. He was gone for far too long, it seemed, and he had himself to blame for all of it. When he was there playing God's Apprentice with the Saiyans, Sorbet was raising a tumor from his own assets, and he was really hoping he was wrong about all this, but something told him that they might have a big problem on their hands. Cooler then turned his head towards Salza. Salza, I am going to contact Whis. Coordinate everything and inform me if you find something. Immediately. But, Monsieur Cooler, I just... Salza protested slightly. We just got you back. If you leave now, then... Understood. But I have a feeling that I am right. And if I am right, they might try going to Earth first. It is almost personal for the likes of them. Likes of who? Kikuno scratched his head. Frieza loyalists. Commander Sorbet's throat was getting quite dry as he walked through the corridors of his ship, prompting only occasional salutes. There was a time that these people respected him without question, but nowadays, well, they had a new target in regards to adoration, and it was fairly understandable. This was the natural order of things. Order that Sorbet had been trying to restore, and yet he hoped that he would find his leader in a good mood today. As he walked into a quite large room, he encountered Dagoma. It wasn't a stretch to say that his comrade looked slightly more beaten up than usual. "How is his lordship, Dagoma?" Sorbet asked, trying not to show that he found certain satisfaction in seeing his fellow elite a bit roughened up. Dagoma glared at Sorbet. "Our lord is growing impatient, as he wants to enact revenge on his enemies. He believes that he is ready." The commander looked around, rather nervously, sheepishly even. He would not dare question the wisdom of an emperor, but it was hard not to worry. They were hiding in deep space, far away from meaningful supplies, just so their enemies would not sense them. They were waiting for the mood to die down. He really wanted his master to be ready to rain vengeful fire on those that had wronged him almost at once, but were these 4 months enough? "Sorbet, glad that you've decided to show up." A cold, high-pitched voice emanated from the training room intercom, and soon enough, Lord Frieza himself walked into the room. "My lord, I didn't wish to interrupt your training." "It is quite all right. What do you have to report, Commander?" The former emperor smiled slyly. "Well, it's about your brother. I think he suspects he's looking for us, my lord. There, I said it." Frieza grimaced in a manner that terrified both Sorbet and Dagoma. "Sloppy. We were supposed to go unnoticed." He scoffed at them, his voice quivering with rage. "Forgive me, my lord. I think it was the pod that gave us away." "I should have known that he would find out sooner or later." Frieza composed himself, and his anger slowly diminished. "Is the prime asset safe?" Yes, my lord. Yes, it is. Safe and far away from us right here." Sorbet saluted. "Good. Dagoma, we are going to need a few more training sessions in this case, so get yourself up to a working manner. Is that clear?" Yes, my lord." Dagoma saluted, a bit hesitantly, and gave Sorbet a painful expression. "We have about 1 month at best, so let us use it to good taste. And then," Frieza looked at them closely, "then we are going to attack those filthy monkeys on Earth." "On Earth?" the 2 of them asked in unison. "Did I stutter?" Frieza gave them a cold stare. "No, of course not. It's just we thought that you wanted to go for the throne first." "We need to be tactical, Commander. Slay our enemies one by one. As much as it pains me to say, we have quite a few powerful warriors to take down. It is, exciting in a way, and a good way to give my new form a bit of a test drive." "Oh, yes, I am sure it is going to be splendid and magnificent." Sorbet's eyes then brightened up with all of the mental imagery of the possibilities. "You have another job, though, Sorbet. Stall the chase as long as you can. Sacrifice troops if you have to. Make sure nobody interrupts mine and Dagoma's training," the Emperor ordered. Sorbet saluted without saying another word. This will all be worth it, he thought. Soon, the natural order was going to be restored. The Earth had been invaded once again. Without the presence of Goku and Vegeta, who at this time were busy training with Whis, the attack went much further than anyone within the team had anticipated or wanted. The first thought that was on everyone's minds was that Cooler had betrayed them. It wasn't completely unexpected, though. The Emperor had constantly warned, in tradition almost, that their temporary truce could easily end at any time without warning. Only after a moment, the likes of Piccolo and Gohan realized that the outfits of the invading warriors looked familiar and yet old school. "Are those Frieza's colors?" Gohan's eyes narrowed. Seems like it," the Namekian said, fending off incoming soldiers after a little break. It had become very apparent quickly that the betrayal they were accusing their reluctant ally of doing never actually happened. He had remained faithful, especially when a dreadful presence had become known to the world. "Surprise! Where are all the filthy monkeys? Where you at?" Frieza smirked, looking at the defenders of Earth. "Father and Vegeta are not home. You are stuck with me. I don't know how you returned, but it seems you don't really learn, do you, Frieza?" Son Gohan looked fierce, which initially confused Frieza. Oh, who are you again? Oh, right, time's passed. Oh my, you've grown, haven't you? You, the son of Goku, of course. You even look alike. Well, the revenge will taste rather sweet, won't it, when he returns home to your smoldering corpse? The Emperor grinned wickedly. You have a long history of underestimating. I give you one chance to retreat and go back to where you came from, Gohan warned him. Well, I see you've grown quite respectable in your own right. Fine, you will do it. And to not prolong the inevitable, Frieza transformed into his fourth form. To Gohan's surprise, he was able to hold his own against him. It was clear that something was different though. While he was quite young when he last saw him fighting for real Frieza, there were visible changes to his style. In fact, there was a style, whereas before it was just punching rather haphazardly. It wasn't just raw either, it was inherited power. It gave Gohan a real bad realization. Frieza had been training. Surprised, monkey? You're not the only ones that increased in their strength, and to be quite honest, I have to thank your dearest father for that nugget. I used to despise menial work. I usually left that to my brother, but you know what? It's rather grown on me. Still, Frieza was far away from actually defeating Gohan, something that hadn't escaped his attention, and yet he did not seem bothered by this fact, which could only mean one thing. He had something in his pocket, hiding in plain sight. After a moment, when the fight was beginning to go slightly in Gohan's favor, the young half-Saiyan looked at his opponent and said, "Okay, Frieza, what are you hiding? Surely this isn't all you've got. Otherwise, you'd be fuming with anger over how this is going for you and you tried to blow up the planet. What gives?" Frieza chuckled loudly, which caused some aura of amusement amongst his troops. They were laughing too. Despite being largely defeated, they cheered up for their leader. Oh, how perceptive. You see, I took another lesson from your old man. It surely feels good to start slow and work yourself up. The former Emperor's smile widened. Then stop wasting everyone's time. Gohan wasn't smiling. He knew something was up and hoped that he would be up for the challenge when it arrived. Well then, let me introduce you to Golden Frieza. As the light around the former ruler of the universe radiated, Gohan and everyone present got blinded by the oppressive glow. Soon enough, an almost metallic shine was present around Frieza's body, adorned with some purple tweaks. I see that you keep taking ideas from us. The son of Goku could not notice the color of this transformation. I wanted to make it a poetic irony of sorts. Frieza grinned and prepared an attack that Gohan could not block. It was quite shocking for the half-Saiyan even. Despite being in his heightened potential unleashed state, this single attack was quite devastating. Whatever Frieza had done, it had made him much, much, much more powerful. Still, the Defender of Earth wasn't going to give up and tried to give his all. The main issue was that his all wasn't apparently enough here. Frieza was able to block most of his attacks and respond with rather deadly strikes of his own. Before he knew it, he was breathing Gohan rather heavily, being at the mercy of the former ruler of the universe. What was it you said, boy? Stop wasting everyone's time? You know what? I think you're right. I've had my fun with you, but it is time to wait for the main course. Frieza started charging a death beam, which prompted Piccolo to get close to his protege. However, he wasn't the one to stop the attack. It was a key attack from someone else. So, you're truly back, Frieza. It was Goku, and he was accompanied by Vegeta and Cooler. Oh my, the big family reunion. How are you doing, brother? Do you like my new form? Frieza grinned, floating high and mighty, so everyone could behold his radiating new look. A lot of form and very little substance. Quite fits you, brother. Cooler crossed his arms. You may belittle me all you want, but once I am done with this pitiful planet, I am taking my throne back. I saw what you've done to it, becoming a lapdog to these monkeys. I wasn't aware that one of our kin could stoop so low. Frieza's expression changed, his voice raw with intense disgust and anger toward his disappointment of a brother, in his view. I made the Empire stronger than it ever was. Although I have grown complacent, I will give you that, that is true. This feeling of safety caused you to somehow find an opening, which is unfortunate, but nothing that cannot be fixed, Cooler exclaimed calmly. Honestly, it is a relief that you saved us the trouble of looking for you and came out of your hidey hole. This ends here, unless you submit.
You should listen to your brother, Frieza. Well, I'm quite eager to check what that new shiny form of yours can do. This can only end one way, so you better think about your chances.
Goku smiled.
Why are you two giving him that chance? He's going to get all that he deserves again, and this time, it is going to be me that does it. Vegeta glared at the two of them. Vegeta, allow me to deal with him. This is as much personal for me as it is for you.
Cooler looked at the prince. There was a moment of silence, but after a while of almost ear-piercing silence, Vegeta nodded slowly in understanding.
Do not make me regret it.
Oh, that's sweet. Your boys fighting over me?
Frieza tilted his head over.
No, brother. We will make sure you will get the message.
Oh?
Frieza smirked.
And what's the message?
There is a new order around here, and you are not a part of it.
Well then, let's start, shall we?
Golden Frieza stood before his brother. Cooler then powered up all the way to his 5th form. This will certainly help him work over some issues that he previously had. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now.